Do not let your power. This is a harsh. One cup of milk. Let us begin. Never await victory. Doubt is the greatest enemy. I'm meditating. A match. Did you miss it? enemy.
Yeah, I'll probably play again.
Let us begin. The focused mind can pierce through stone. Is an eternal truth. Await victory. I will show the path.
What's up, Korea? I think Evan might be off his meds again. I was laughing though about his Joe Biden comment. Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, so I have this guy that I work with that needs a bunch of insurance.
Okay,
So are you going to be in your office tomorrow?
no, I'm actually leaving tomorrow to go to Boston.
That's why I wasn't sure.
I can be in there Monday.
Alright, I'll tell him. I gave him your phone number, so if you get a weird number, it's from the guy I work with. His name is Manny. He needs, he has some houses and some cars. He needs insurance.
Is it a 347 number?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I just got a call from a 347 number, but I wasn't sure.
Oh, I just gave it to him right as I was calling you.
Oh. Alright, well, yeah, I'll be in there on Monday. But I won't be in there tomorrow. But we can also do it over the phone if he wants, so.
Oh, okay. I'll tell him.
Alright.
Alright, bye.
Bye.
Never await victory.
Naughty.
Let's see how much LP I'm gaining. Hopefully it's a lot.
Doubt is the greatest enemy.
Bring me more flesh bags to slice up.
Admitting your guilt? How generous.
Bring me more flesh bags to slice up.
As expected.
Are you my nightmare? Or am I yours? People are names to be blotted out. Afraid of the dark. Sense fear.
Fuck. Maybe that didn't kill him. What? What does that mean? Goes through life but not eating onions? Well, at least we took his entire side of the jungle. Almost a throw. I guess we go. Go for the Guardian Angel. I took tower aggro there, but... I'll be right back. Gotta go to the bathroom now.
Personality Andrew Tate reportedly texted his rape accuser, quote, "I love raping you," and described strangling her on an audio recording shared with the UK police. The police told her there was an ounce of doubt that prevented them from prosecuting him. Tate was detained by Romanian police in December, and a court in Romania's capital.
I think the ghost fucked my husband.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, so in one of the most recent videos that I uploaded, I talked about where the Andrew Tate's assistant got released from prison just so she can attend a funeral. And there's been an English translation to what she actually said during the time where she was walking, and it's absolutely interesting. And she claims that they're innocent and that it's an attack. And you gotta see this, because this is some very, very serious information coming from someone who was arrested alongside Andrew Tate. But yeah, guys, for daily Tate content, please be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe with notifications, and yeah, let's just get into it.
V-au obligat
Ați fost o adevărată complice sau sunteți adevărate? Ați asistat la momente de abuzuri ale fraților
Nu
Tate?
suntem nevinovați, e un dosar fabricat în totalitate. Nu există niciun fel de probă.
Cine ar fi fabricat acest dosar?
Din străinătate sunt ordine.
Alright guys, so Gordon Ramsay tried Logan Paul and KSI's drink Prime very recently, and I find it very hilarious because he rated it super low and said that it's garbage, and the clip is absolutely hilarious, so yeah, check it out.
What is that flavour you got there?
Tropical punch, it says.
Oh, Jesus.
Loosely. You've just
Close.
come from the Maldives.
No, it's like swallowing perfume.
Would you serve that at the Savoy?
Yeah, no, I'd get fired.
Out of 10, what are you going to give Prime?
0.
Now, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't tried the drink because
he said, but wait, I got another one in me. And he did this. Watch, this is so funny for me to see this.
Well, it's safe to say that the last 3 weeks or so have been the absolute worst weeks of Logan Paul's life. I think the universe does have a very...
Nah, they're the worst 3 weeks, so
have you ever heard of Mr. Beast? What about PewDiePie?
Yeah.
How about Keemstar, Logan Paul, Jake Paul?
He said Keemstar. Holy fuck, Piers Morgan knows who Keemstar is? No fucking way. Oh my god. We made it. Let's get right into the news.
You haven't heard of them. But if you've got kids, you will definitely have heard of them. And they most certainly have. They're just a tiny handful of the legions of digital personalities whose videos are viewed by literally billions of young people across the world.
It's a lot of people.
Their endorsements are worth millions in sales. Their opinions can instantly reshape conversations in schools, universities, and across social media. They're more influenced than most musicians, soap stars, sports stars, columnists, lawmakers. But unlike those power brokers of the past, the politicians and cultural stars who can set the social agenda, these people seem to exist in a parallel universe. Their views go largely unchallenged, shared only as bite-sized clips. Their digital businesses often operate beyond the scrutiny of normal journalists, even regulators. They wield massive influence over young people, and they're restricted only by the ever-changing whims of big tech companies. It makes no more sense. The senators or the secretaries of state simply never appearing on television. Well, my guest tonight is a perfect case in point, an example of both enormous digital conquest and the risks that come with it. He's Andrew Tate. His last interview with me has so far been viewed for over 8 million times on YouTube alone.
And so we're doing another one. So it's like, all right, you know, the last one went pretty well, got a lot of views, so guess what? Yep, we're back at it again.
17 million times across all platforms, which is staggering for someone who perhaps you're watching and thinking, who is Andrew Tate? It was a robust exchange. And Andrew Tate was here because he'd effectively been kicked off the mainstream internet for supposed misogyny. His tirades against women were viewed literally billions of times. Well, the first time around, I wanted to find out if he deserved to be banned and if he'd ever actually crossed a line from shocking opinions to genuine hate speech, or if he just didn't fit the ideal model of the platforms that censored him. Let's go through some.
Sure.
Right? Do you think women are the property of men?
No.
And we
The point
saw.
I was
Why have you said they are?
Because I made a religious point.
Authority implies that you have the ability to control someone.
No, authority believes, the authority implies that I have the moral right to sit and say that that's an irresponsible thing to do and I'm responsible for
That's
it.
not what authority means. I don't want to interrupt you. I just want to point out that's not what authority means.
This is like from the last one. Yeah, this is from the last one.
Voluntary authority is not authority.
No, but that's the point.
It's not.
Piers.
Andrew, it's not.
And this is the thing that's interesting, Piers. Please let me finish.
Yeah, but again, you're behaving like a politician.
No, it says the full interview number 2.
So, but hang on.
It's
you
just
can say I'm
highlights.
interrupting.
You do.
But you're answering a different question to the one I asked you.
Fine.
No.
We'll just skip ahead.
Why do you know?
Because I don't
Is this
believe it.
Evan stream? No.
It's a lively stuff. I
actually
also
talk.
wasn't sure if I should be interviewing him at all, if he was so unpleasant.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. Like, what do you... Come on, man. The last video got really popular. Everybody was talking about it. And you're like, bro, come on, let's go. Let's do another one. This shit is... Bro, we are farming. Let's go again. Yeah, like... I mean, does anybody really believe this shit? Like, yeah, of course, that's what you're gonna do. It's not a bad thing. It's fine.
As so many people said, but why extend his profile and give him a platform? But the fact is that ship had already sailed. Every teenager in the country knows Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of the parents who don't. Since that interview, Andrew has been returned to Twitter. His new owner, Elon Musk, is determined to protect free speech online. Many young people, especially boys, have literally stopped me in the street since that first interview to ask me about Andrew Tate. I've been staggered, honestly, by the response that I've had.
So basically, he has a bunch of kids come up to him and ask him, like, when he's going to interview Andrew Tate again. And finally, it happened enough, and he's doing it again. Okay.
What does it say about society that people like Andrew Tate can reach so many more people than conventional stars or journalists even? Who gets to decide where the line is and whether people like Andrew Tate cross it? Are they part of a poorly understood movement?
Nobody gets to decide where the line is. I think that's the greatest thing about the internet. Is there is no... The thing is about, like, media and being popular and being in, like, pop culture is that, like, back in the day, it was very much like if you didn't say the right things...
I don't know if you noticed, Korea, but promos went back to only 3 games, so you only got to win 2 out of the 3.
But, like, on the internet, if people don't like you on one website, you just go somewhere else. And that's it. It's actually a great thing.
Panders to teenage rebellion like punk rock or pornography? Or are we exposing young people to new and damaging experiences we often don't see and don't understand? It's a whole new world. There are more questions about it than answers, and we're not going to answer them by pretending it doesn't exist. Well, Andrew Tate joins me again now. Andrew, good to see you.
Salam alaikum, Piers.
Good to see you.
Oh, that's right.
I've genuinely been amazed by the reaction I've had in the streets. Not just here, and I went to Qatar for the World Cup, had the same thing there. A lot of people coming up about Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously, but also a lot of people coming up about you. And they were almost exclusively men, young men, who genuinely see you as a role model, as somebody who inspires them, as somebody they want to be like. So that made me think, the first interview you had was quite combative, the second time a short interview less so. I want to try and work out in this one who you are, because it struck me as extraordinary that Google this week revealed some stats for the year. The #1 person whose name followed people Google searching who is in 2022 was Andrew Tate.
Jesus Christ.
I will show you that.
Holy fuck. Wow. Search and tape, bro, like, that's insane. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's quite remarkable. I think there's a whole swath of the population, especially young men, that feel disenfranchised. They feel
I think it's true. That he's right. I mean, Andrew Tate is just, like, guys have been looking for somebody like Andrew Tate for a long time. And, like, there have been, like, kind of stand-in people like Dan Blitzerian of these, like, you know, masculinity icons. But it turns out that all his money was from fucking his dad's money who went to jail. And so, that, I mean, who cares a fuck about that guy? That guy's a joke. Whereas, like, effectively, like, people haven't been able to just completely discredit Andrew Tate yet. That's why. Yeah, Liver King, that's another one. Look at how popular Liver King is. Yeah, like, internet masculinity icons are incredibly popular. It's because a lot of guys, you know, they didn't grow up with, like, an older brother or, like, a dad that sets them straight. And so, it's kind of sad, but they go on the internet and they find people like Andrew Tate, and it's like, hey, this is what I've been missing. Yeah, look at Ziz, right? Ty Lopez. Yeah, think about how many of these people there are.
Disenfranchised with the media machine and the things they're supposed to believe. They don't feel an affinity with the educational systems or the culture. And they look at a person like me who stands up and says the things that many young men think. I haven't put a magic spell on the world.
Yeah, no, I think he's right. That, like, Andrew Tate isn't changing people's opinions. He's just making them feel more comfortable to say what their opinions really are.
People like what I say means that they agree with me deep inside and may be afraid to say it themselves. But I am seen as a bastion of free speech and a bastion for masculinity as a whole, because a lot of men are largely forgotten about.
Do you think you're a force for good, or are you a force in evolution, where perhaps you've done some stuff you shouldn't have done, and as you get older, perhaps as you get bigger, more follow around the world, you sense a responsibility perhaps you didn't have early on?
Well, we all evolve. Every human evolves day by day. You wouldn't be human if you didn't evolve on an hour-by-hour basis. But I do not think I'm a force for good. I absolutely not really know I'm a force for good, because I'm a force for truth. And truth is a good thing. Without truth, we're going to end up in absolute tyranny and slavery, and we're already on our way there. I feel like we're starting to combat it. My cancellation was the beginning of a change.
I think that that's kind of true with the... I do think that not being able to have truth is probably the first step of being under control of some sort of governing force. To the extent that you can't discuss ideas in an honest way, yeah, I would say so. It's important, yeah, it's a fair point.
In public consciousness, Elon having Twitter is another beginning of a change in public consciousness. And anybody who stands up and speaks what they truly believe, even if it's something I don't personally agree with, I think that truth is absolutely important. And people's personal truths and people's personal opinions, even on differing sides of the same opinion, should be heard.
I agree with that. I think that there's a line, you know, like if people are inciting violence, I think, yeah, sure, that's the line for me. But other than that, yeah, people should be able to say what they want, for sure. Personal truth? Well, what he's saying is, like, people's perspectives on things. Like, there are a lot of things like abortion, for example. There is no objectively right answer for abortion. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just go and, like, it's not like gravity, where, like, you can figure out and calculate gravity down to, like, the fucking most minute detail. There is? Yeah, keep thinking that.
Think about your life. You were born to a mixed race couple. Your father was an African American, a chess player, and your mother, she was from this country.
Correct. Yeah. So my father was black chess player. He was in the Air Force. He met my mother here in England, and then I was raised initially in the United States, and then I moved to Luton, England when I was younger. So I've moved around a lot. I've lived eclectic life in many different scenarios. We've moved around. I've done a lot of different things, lived a lot of different experiences. And
What
I'm thankful
nationality
for it.
are you? Well, I mean, what do you identify as?
I consider myself British now, but I will say that part of me, the patriotic Brit inside of me, is devastated by the state of the UK currently. And I want to make that very clear. The patriotic Brit in me truly loves this country, and seeing what's happening to it, especially to our major cities, is almost heartbreaking to watch.
I'm gonna be real, like, I have no idea what's happening over in Britain. I don't live there, so this is just, this is them. Yeah, I mean, I got no fucking idea.
It's falling apart. This is a failed society. By every metric you can possibly measure, it is absolutely not really failing. The cost of living crisis, the crime rates, everything is falling apart. If you compare it to a country...
Is this shit, like, really true? Like, because, I mean, really, like, is it true what he's saying, or is it just, like, something I can look up and it's immediately bullshit? It is true, wow. Damn, what the fuck's going on? What are y'all doing over there? Chill out.
Like the United Arab Emirates, you compare it to a city like Dubai. London, which should be the greatest city on earth, is failing in absolutely every metric because our leadership is a joke. If you look at Dubai and the UAE, the leadership there is so flawless, so genuinely genius. They saw ahead and have built almost a utopia. And then you look at London, you can't even walk around with a watch on. It's disgusting.
You know, it's very interesting. I was in Qatar for the World Cup. Obviously, a lot of people in England taking a very censorious moral view about the World Cup being in the Middle East at all because of their laws against homosexuality, because of their treatment of migrant workers. I've got to say,
I think you have to acknowledge that, like, to say that the leadership over there is flawless whenever they have, you know, just like people making life choices that, like, you know, this could end your life. That's not flawless. Like, fucking, like, there's no way that's flawless. Like, yeah, it's like there's always going to be, like, good and bad things about everything. So, like, yeah, they might not have the same problems that London does, but they have other problems that are different.
I don't share the concerns about those things. Of course I do. But I found a lot of the virtue signals, and I think that's what it was in my about the whole region, actually quite distasteful. Because when I was in Qatar, I thought the World Cup was fantastically well run, incredibly good experience. But a lot of Qataris were saying to me, you know, there's this weird, quaint feeling back in your country that we all want to aspire to behave like that. That we all want to live in a country with massive drug problems, with massive knife crime issues, with scenes like the European Championships final, where it's complete lawlessness going on, where stuff like the NHS, the system of healthcare, is basically collapsing, where the education system is dropping behind, so on and so on and so on. It's a really interesting perspective. They were like, I know you all think that we want to have your form of democracy and your form of life, but actually, we're fine, thanks.
Absolutely, because it's a failed...
Yeah, I think that's true. And like, there is, like, a certain amount of, like, fucking sanctimoniousness that, like, Westerners have, that it's like everybody else
There's a
in the
whole
whole
level up
world
on there.
should
That's
be
the
like
problem.
them. Everybody has to have our values. They have to think the way that we think. They have to act the way that we act. You know, there needs to be democracy everywhere. Like, obviously, I think that you can easily say that some of the crazy shit where, like, people get killed for, like, just expressing themselves in a different way. Like, obviously, this is bad. Like, I mean, what are we really going to talk about besides that? That's obviously bad. But the fact is that, like, no, I bet a lot of the people that live in Iraq and shit, they like living there, and that's the way that they like doing things. In a lot of these places, yeah, if you go to Qatar, a lot of people like living there. I've met people from Qatar. I've met people from Saudi Arabia. They're happy there. Absolutely. And it's not our right to go and change that. The same as it's not their right to go over and change what we do. He's right.
Society, and it's godless. I think it's disgusting.
It's like, it's a whole, what's that fucking term that people would use back in the fucking Salem witch trial days? Like the house on the hill? Where, like, everybody wants to be like us?
Yeah, it's Asmongold.
Not everybody does. Other people want to live their life a different way.
We leave our old people to rot in old people's homes, and then we sit there and say we don't have enough money for nurses. I understand this nurse strike very well and how frustrating it can be if you walk into a hospital and a nurse
And yeah, somebody brings up a good point in chat that I think should absolutely be taken into consideration. And I think this is a good point of criticism of what I'm saying and what they're saying too. Is that like you have two guys talking about how it's no problem living in Dubai. I bet. Right, but like, you know, bring on like 5 women or like 10 women, ask them what their opinion is, and it could be different. I'm not saying it is. I'm not going to tell you what their opinion is. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
He embarrassed me,
But the
man.
nurses would be prepared to work at the current wage if they believed this country was spending its money prudently. When you see this country spending its money,
Evan's
it's
back at
absolutely
it again
wasting
in the
pulling it out of
Discord.
thin air to fund proxy
He's a lot of
wars,
fun.
called
I don't think
where
you
that
should
stuff
ban
to
his
do with it.
comments.
Of course, as a
They're
nurse, you're
funny.
going to stand up and say, well, can't I get a pay rise? This country has failed on every metric.
Like, you can call me a lot of
Look at our
things.
major cities.
Call me a
just come to
nerd
London
when
now.
I was letting
I made
you
it
play
very clear to my
a couple of
private jet
games.
pilot. I said, fuel
I
the
don't
jet,
know,
leave it
man.
running. Because the second I finish talking to peers, I'm
I don't know.
It's disgusting. This country and London as a whole 10 years ago was one of the most hospitable cities on earth. Now you cannot walk around safely with a watch on. And you're a
That's
full-grown man.
scary.
You're a full-grown adult. When's the last time there's been a serious problem in your life that you completely ignored and it fixed itself? Never.
Andrew, that's not true. There have been a lot of problems that I have ignored, and they've gone away. Don't let people fool you. If you ignore your problems, a lot of them actually will go away. Yeah, like the rat. Yeah, there was a rat. It was in the house, and then I ignored it. Eventually, the rat's gone. We're fine. Just like your teeth? Yeah, there it is. I ignored the problem. Now my teeth are gone.
Forever. What are any of our politicians doing to fix any of the problems we're
Well, I saw
facing?
today that Sadiq Khan is planning to run again for a third term of office as mayor. All I can say is everyone I know who's had any experience of crime at any level in London in the last few years has had a bad experience of the way it's been handled. You know,
I really wish that I could actually talk to real people that live in London and like Britain and shit like that and actually hear what they have to say. Because like, I don't really know if I should believe this or not. You know, like you can, bro, they're in chat. Yeah, but like somebody says Discord to me, bro, you're probably in Kansas. Like, you probably never been, you went to London in like 2009.
I mean, I can give an example. I can reveal this now. I've talked for 18 months. I got a specific death threat on one of my son's Instagram pages in public, a public comment. And it was very specific about what this person was going to do. I couldn't use the police to evade him. We know where you live. We're going to come and kill you. And then the second one, threatening my son and his mother, my ex-wife. I called in the police. I thought, I'm not having them putting death threats on my son.
Yeah.
I called the police. Police investigated this. They arrested somebody over a year ago. And then I heard from the police this week that despite 18 months of investigation, of a publicly posted comment on...
Bro, imagine how easy it must be. You spend 18 months on one comment, and then at the end of it, you don't have to do anything. Bro, that is chill. God damn, man. Like, that's... Yeah, like, they're just relaxed, chilling. Everything is okay.
Instagram threatening to kill me on my son's Instagram, that they will not be able to pursue the case. Now, and I thought, imagine, I'm high profile. This was the front page of the Sun newspaper. This
If
story.
that same man called a transgender person the wrong pronouns, he would be in trouble.
Right.
So doesn't it just show how absolutely asinine and banal our legal system has become? That would never happen.
It's hard to say. I think that usually, I mean, the thing is, I see what he's trying to say, but I don't think that the cops give a fuck about transgender people. I think it's politicians do, because they use it as an issue that they can get votes for. The cops don't give a shit who it is. It could be a man, a woman, anything in between. They don't give a fuck. This has happened to people all the time. Like, how many of you guys have had to deal with the cops and they didn't help you? And it's not always their fault. I mean, the thing is, like, they do get understaffed. There is other shit that's happening. Absolutely. Like, it's not always the cop's fault. But damn, sometimes it probably is.
In a country like United Arab Emirates, the place I'm now residing in Dubai, where the leadership has common sense. And I'm saying that all the leadership structures, doesn't matter if it's labor or conservative, across all of it in this nation have completely and utterly failed. Sadiq Khan is a loser. Because when you have a city which is losing, which London is losing in all metrics across its competitive cities around the world, and you're in charge of it, by extension, you're a loser. I will tell you right now, instead of virtue signaling and giving Qatar a hard time over their religious beliefs, what we should be doing is a treaty with Qatar to go to prison deep in the desert. Give me...
Like Escape from New York, I love it. Holy fuck. Yeah, there we go, like Alcatraz. You put it out in a fucking island, they can't get away, yeah. Put them in a hole, cover the hole, yeah. It's just that simple. No, I think that there is some truth to that, right? And I bet like every dude from the Middle East is probably fucking tired of having some guy that is in some Western country that has 15 different fucking problems, a national debt in the billions or trillions, going and telling them what they're doing wrong.
Because like it's like most of the time when you're skilling abilities,
now we're the problem.
It literally doesn't affect me
I
at all.
guarantee you, they're tired of hearing that shit.
Make me mayor of London. We'll make a prison deep in the desert, and if you're caught with a knife or robbing someone, you can go do 25 years with 1 meal a day in the scorching sun. And then what we'll do is we'll put cameras there and we'll interview you once a week and broadcast that out to the nation and see if you change your mind and make people understand that this is a country that should be respected and our laws should be respected. Instead, what?
That would probably fucking work. Yep. Judge Dredd. There you fucking go.
Happened? What has Sadiq or any of the people in charge of this country actually done to fix any of our issues? I sit around and talk. Nothing. None of them have done anything, but they seem ultra concerned.
I mean, isn't this what, like that one dude in fucking the Philistines? Fuck, what's his name? Duarte? Isn't this what he did too? Yeah, I mean, it, in the Philippines. I said the Philippines. Philistine? No, I said Philippines, didn't I? Oh, maybe I said it wrong. Yeah.
For proxy wars, ultra concerned with rainbow flags in another country that is uninterested in them, and their priorities are completely messed up. Of course the ambulance people are. Of course the ambulance drivers are striking. Of course the nurses are striking. Nobody cares about the most important things in this nation. It's a failing country in real time, and that's why I've left.
What about the specific? I think that can be applied to the U.S. too. I mean, I heard like the Senate or some fucking group of clowns approved some like $1.7 trillion spending bill or some shit like this. And it's like, how much of that is going to go towards teachers? I mean, I don't know, probably not a lot of it. Like, why is it that teachers have like one of the lowest paid professions? It's like, how is it that like you have like, I mean, let's like, here's the logic, right? It's like, how many of y'all ever bought a carry in WoW? How many of you guys ever played like WoW, Lost Ark, one of these games, and you bought a carry in the game? You have, right. Okay, so you know, like, let's say you're trying to buy a bus for Baltic. You're trying to buy a carry for, like, an ultimate in Final Fantasy. You're trying to buy a carry for Ahead of the Curve in WoW. And you go and you say you're going to pay the absolute minimum. Like, I'm going to pay 100K for this, nothing more. I'm only going to pay 20K for this, nothing more. You're going to get a sketchy-ass clown, and the odds are you might not even get your achievement. But if you go and you say, I'm going to put up 250K, $250,000, I need my carry, you're going to have these people messaging you, like giving you a flask for the pull, and then you die in 5 seconds. They're going to wait for you. They're going to summon you to the boss. They're going to do everything that they can to make you happy because they want you to give them more money. Because you get what you pay for. And how is it that where we live, in the US, teachers don't make any fucking money, and everybody's surprised that the kids are fucking stupid? Well, no shit. Anybody who's smart wouldn't be a teacher. Like, we had this happen with the computer class. Neither do the cops. A lot of cops don't make a lot of money. Some do make a lot of money. It's a very distorted view. But I think we can all agree on teachers. Fact is that, like, I had I was in computer maintenance, like computer repair class, and guess what? Anybody who knew enough about like fucking networking and like computer repair and like IT on the level to teach a bunch of people, and like honestly, we did that shit all the time anyway. So like they would be teaching us about like networking things, like protocols, like how to do all these other kind of crazy shit, right? Like our book was this fucking thick. The dude that did this, he could go to the private sector and get a job that paid him 6 figures in a week. So why the fuck is he gonna go and teach at some school where if he says, I remember he told us, he said, if I say a swear word one time, like I can get fired for that. And he would swear every day. Nobody
No, my penta!
But the fact is that like,
fuck.
yeah, why would you do that? Like why would you take a pay cut to get treated like shit by a bunch of stupid fucking kids and not make any money? We had a new teacher every year. It sucks. So yeah, I feel the same way about the U.S. When you lack actual competition, yeah, that's the thing, is there's no competition for the jobs because nobody wants them in the first place. It's disturbing.
Specific allegation. By the way, I don't disagree with a lot of that because I do think this country is in big trouble.
And I do want to make a mention is that, the teacher that we did have, that guy that year, bro, he went in. Like, he helped us a lot. We learned a ton of shit. We learned, like, fucking internet relay protocols. We learned, like, some fucking, like, Old Testament computer shit. So, like, he was passionate about it. It's not like he didn't give a fuck. Like, yeah, we played Counter-Strike half the time, but we learned about half the other time, right? We learned a lot of shit. And, we could go fix any fucking shit in a computer. Like, anything that would be a problem, we go fix it. And, you do have passionate teachers. I had passionate teachers. How many of you guys had passionate teachers?
It probably won't
probably every single one. You had 1 or 2? How many of you had teachers that were not passionate?
Alright, love you.
That's the question. Yeah, it's like my physics teacher. Oh, my English teacher. Yeah, but here's the thing: is you have 7. You have 7 classes a day, and you say my English teacher. So what does that mean about the other 6? You see what I'm getting at?
And I do think that one of the problems is people think if they do have a crime against them, nobody cares anymore.
I know nobody cares. I have specific examples of people who I know personally. Absolutely and utterly nobody cares. I was in Harrods yesterday and someone tried to rob someone's watch in the middle of the store. I walk around with 6 full-grown, I have a security team of 6 full-grown men, plus me and my brother, 8 military-age males, all over 110 kilos, big men, just so I can walk around this city. It's absolutely unacceptable.
A lot of people have that are famous too, because people always try to start fights with them. Like you see this, like Floyd Mayweather goes anywhere, he's got 6 guys with him. Shaq goes anywhere, he's got a bunch of guys with him too. It's just a matter of liability. No, it's not an exaggeration. Like, this is actually what a lot of people do. Yeah, you have to. It's the same as like a lot of people who who make a lot of money. They don't drive. They have somebody drive them for liability purposes.
What about the issue of race? And I mentioned that in the context of the Harry and Meghan ongoing debate, their war with the royal family, war against the monarchy, their specific constant referencing to the fact that they believe they were driven out of here because of racism in Britain. What do you make of that debate?
That's absolute fallacy.
And you're from a mixed race background yourself.
Correct. I'm from a mixed race background myself, and while we're discussing the leaders of the UK, although I do think they're doing a terrible job, it's kind of hard for Meghan to say that the UK is a racist country when the leader of the UK is darker skinned than her, and the mayor of London is darker skinned than her, and I am a person who's probably darker skinned than her, and I've never experienced any kind of bigotry against myself, besides the fact I'm a straight male. I'll get bigotry for that before I'll get bigotry for my skin color. I think it's just a cop-out, and her not wanting to be perspicacious and self-reflective enough to understand that she has attacked an age-old institution, and there are people who are very patriotic about that institution, and by attacking it and bringing a degree of distaste to it, there's going to be people who don't like her. And if you're a dislikable person, you can't just instantly stand up and say it's because of my skin.
Why do I have to wear that?
Because of your actions, some of the things you say.
I mean, I think there's probably no doubt she's had racism
as a
on
challenge?
social media. Because
yeah, I think that's probably true. Like, I mean, I don't really know about this shit because it's like, what the fuck do I care about the British royal family? Like we fought a war like 300 years ago to not have to give a fuck about that. So like,
I have nothing to prove. I could beat him in literally any game. Maybe not StarCraft. If he's still good at StarCraft, maybe not.
It doesn't matter.
But Warcraft, I would beat him
don't
in.
give a
League, I would beat him in.
Who hasn't?
Hearthstone, I would beat him in.
You probably have.
Well, as I
don't
said,
know what
I've had
Call of
death
Duty,
threats
I'd
on
beat him
social
in.
media, and no one seemed to care very much. But
Poker,
I think
I
that's
would
probably an
destroy him
argument.
in.
My
Blackjack,
issue with what they
I'd
both
beat him in.
is if you're going to make allegations against an institution like the royal family and the monarchy, you've got to actually provide some evidence. You can't just spray gun this thing out there and say, well, somebody was racist.
Yeah, and airing dirty laundry is never going to be respected by the populace, and being a tattletale is never going to be respected by the populace. And I think the problem with the modern world we're living in is a lot of age-old traditions are being destroyed in real time. It doesn't matter what the tradition is, most of them are being eroded. And something like the British royal family, which has been...
I don't think that's always a bad thing. I think that there are a lot of old traditions that aren't good. You shouldn't just do something because we always did it.
Like, what do I challenge him in?
It's like
He
at a
could
certain
actually
point,
beat
like
me
maybe
at.
we should stop doing it.
around for a very long time. It's an age-old tradition. One of the things holding the UK together, one of the last things we have, to sit and detriment it and to sit and insult it and to give away secrets from inside of it and try and paint a negative image of it is going to upset a lot of people, and you have to be prepared for that backlash. You can't say I've done...
Well, it makes that what he's saying makes sense. Like it does, because like a lot of people, bro, like they love the royal family. Oh my god. And even over here, there is no one who loves the royal family more than soccer moms. Oh my god. They are just like, anytime I go and I see these fucking things, like, you know, you're checking out at the grocery store and it's like what that Kate, I forgot, Middleton, I think her name is, and Meghan Markle, and then like the bald guy and the ginger guy. I forgot the prince, I think Harry and Prince Paul were fucking some shit. I have no idea. And they just get so into this. And I see them care about it. Paul, like, yeah, I mean, Harry, but I don't know.
Things that upset people, but it's nothing to do with what I've done. It's purely because of my skin color. Also,
but yeah, all I'm saying is, like, people do look at, like, in the same way that we have, like, Uncle Sam and, you know, like, let me think, like, George Washington. Well, they had, like, the Queen. Right, but like the Queen is real. Well, like, I mean, George Washington was real, but like Uncle Sam's not really real. So she's kind of like a mascot. It's like Chucky at Chuck E. Cheese. So like, if you go and you don't like Chucky at Chuck E. Cheese, yeah, you can say you like the pizza and the games, but like, it's still kind of weird.
It's kind of ironic that she's doing that because she's not particularly dark skinned. It's kind of funny to sit here,
I mean,
watch her sit and say,
yeah,
race.
I think the truth is, I don't know what, look, you can say that, I can't. The reality of it is, I just don't know what the specifics of the racism she says she's had, because we've not seen any evidence.
The universe is a funny place. If you're looking for something, you're going to find it. Right? When I got canceled, when they attacked me unfairly, lied about me across the entire mainstream media, deleted me from social media so I couldn't defend myself, and lied about me repeatedly, I could have stood up and said, it's because I'm brown. I didn't do that. I sat and said, okay, there's people who misunderstand my message. My message is a positive one. People misunderstand me. Let me self-reflect and understand that, yes, perhaps this said a long time ago was said in the wrong way. Perhaps this was misunderstood. Perhaps people don't understand this. I could have just copped out and could have just been refusing to self-reflect on any level and said, it's because I'm brown, that's why they did it. But that's not the mature way to be as an adult.
What did you think of the Jeremy Clarkson furore where he...
Yeah, it's like... I'm glad at least Andrew Tate says, like, yeah, some of this stuff I said is like, you know... you know, right? Like, yeah. I'm glad at least he says that. Because, yeah, I mean, I've watched some of the stuff he said. And some of it was like, this was totally out of pocket. But I'm glad he's like, I haven't heard him fucking say any stupid, crazy shit like that recently, at least. In like the last, like, I don't know, 3 months, 4 months.
Right, well, I think most people, but including him belatedly after he published it and written the column, he did make an analogy from a Game of Thrones scene, which most people, I think, did find crossed a line and was deeply offensive. I think it crossed a line. What do you think?
Yeah, I understand why people feel that, but when you attack an institution as old as the British royal family, you're attacking patriotism in and of itself, one of the most respected countries, or previously most respected countries on Earth, and you're going to have some visceral reactions. Perhaps Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, duh. Fuck the royal family. Yeah, but like a lot of the people that say fuck the royal family don't live there. There are a lot of people, and this is probably how they view it. I think that they view the royal family in the same way that people in Qatar view their old traditions. This is what we've done. This is what my parents did. This is what their parents did. We have always done this, and now here you are, and you're trying to change everything that we're doing because of what? So yeah, I think it makes sense that people want to defend the royal family because it's a representation of what they believe it means to be British. Like, absolutely. Give me 1 second. Oh fuck.
Is too famous and too well-renowned to say those kind of things, but there's a lot of people who genuinely feel that way, and that's why he said it. And this is what happens when you attack age-old institutions in any country.
Should he have apologized?
That's a good question. It looks like he did. Personally, I think as a man, you should stand up, say what you mean what you say. I don't think you should ever apologize for anything you've ever said. Even me.
I disagree with that. I think you should apologize if you said something that you regret to say. Like, I don't think that it's being a man is not doubling down on a mistake. I would argue being a man is being able to accept that you made a mistake or you shouldn't have said something and you can move on. Because, like, in a way, it's like you talk about, like, the world is built on truth and then you're living a lie because of some like, idea you have in your head. I think that's silly. Like, you know me, like, I never apologize for shit. I forgot the last time I apologized for something. So, like, I basically believe the same thing, but I think that it's like you should never apologize unless you're sorry. If you're not actually sorry, don't apologize.
What if you say something truly very offensive and you actually do regret it?
If you truly regret it, then yeah, okay, you can apologize.
Yeah,
but
okay.
if at the time you meant it, then the best thing you can do is say, look, I've just changed my mind. I no longer feel that way, but at the time, that's how I felt, and I'm the person who says what he feels, and that's what I felt at the time, and I apologize that offended you.
That's fine. That's totally fine.
Andrew Tate, we'll be back with you after the break. We'll talk to you about Twitter again. Elon Musk restoring his platform. Has it calmed you down? Are you as controversial on there? Are you mindful that you're only one false move like Kanye West, for example, away from being removed again? Well, Elon Musk has restored a...
Somebody says, what have Tate done for society in all these years? I think that really people like Andrew Tate, it's the same as like any religious person or like anybody who preaches any sort of fucking like ideology. What they do is they're just going out to like it's like self-improvement or like self-actualization or realization. That's really what they do.
Strong of banned accounts is taking over Twitter with a sworn commitment to free speech. It's also shown he has a lot.
There's question marks on that? No, bro. Like, honestly, people watch somebody like Andrew Tate or Tony Robbins. Let me think. Ty Lopez. And like, yeah, some people get finessed, some people get scammed. Like, definitely, that's bad. It's the same as like Pat Buchanan, you know, like some of these Joel Osteen, all these people. But all of them, they have viewers and audiences because they sell a lifestyle or a way of looking at the world that's appealing to people. That's what it is. Jordan Peterson's another one, yeah.
Mind of his own, though, conspiracy theorist Alex Jones remains banned. Kanye West was reinstated, then banned again for posting a swastika inside the Star of David. Andrew Tate is back too for now. Anyway, so he first removed said women should bear some responsibility as victims of rape, but he hasn't exactly been shy since his reprieve. Let's take a look. Genghis Khan had
that's how you do it with monkeys. You're not wrong.
Search man on the planet. I've conquered Earth. I'm the highest status male on the planet. Females do not expect loyalty from me. They only expect
That was a good one.
less than men. Then there was this. Imagine having less than 10 children because you're a who doesn't have 4 wives. Genetic failures.
I don't know what happened. Like, about like 1,000 years ago, where like some dude decided like we should only have one wife. Like, who was it that sold us out? Cause like some dude in the old days, yeah, what the fuck? Like, we had it made, bro. Like, everything was good to go. And then they changed this shit, and now you can only have one wife. Who did that? We pussied out so much since Genghis Khan, man. True.
The girl follows me and she's hot, and I see a single picture of her, the private jet. It's blocked. Women can't afford jets. Women are all brokies. Why are you flying around on some man's jet? You should have been a virgin when I met you. Haram. All right, Andrew Tate. Now you're getting very near the knuckle with some of those tweets.
Am I?
You tell me.
I don't think so. I think people can understand they're semi-satirical.
I'm listening to Pierce Morgan's interview with
Hold on.
I think the
Andrew
answer to
Tate,
that question
the
is
second
yes.
one.
I don't mean them as jokes. I mean, they're a overall public commentary and observation. I do mean what I'm saying. If I were to see a girl on a private plane on Instagram, for example, I would assume that a man put her on that private plane. I would not assume she bought it herself.
What if it was
Perhaps that makes me misogynistic.
What if it was Ariana Grande or Beyonce?
Well, that's slightly different.
Why?
Because they're famous and very
They're
rich.
women?
Yeah, of course, and they're famous and very rich. But if I,
lots of women,
if I
you
saw,
wouldn't think that if you actually saw them on a
if I saw a 19-year-old girl from Moldova where the average wage is $200 a month and she was on a private jet, I would assume that with the balance of probabilities, considering I'm an adult, it's very likely because of her beauty, a man has put her on that private plane. Yes, if that makes.
That logically does make sense. I mean, yes, of course. Duh. Could be her dad. Could be her uncle. Could be family money.
Be misogynistic instead of just perspicacious enough to understand how the world works.
He loves that word.
I'm a realist.
Should you be such a generalist about it?
Well, you have to be a generalist when you're looking for.
I think that being a generalist is a good thing because it weeds out people that fixate on exceptions. There are exceptions for everything in life. Everything in life has exceptions. You don't need to write out every exception in every tweet. Like, a smart person can read a tweet and know that this does not apply to every single human being that's ever been in this condition ever. Yeah, actually, anybody who ever does that is a fucking idiot. Not unless I do it, then it's different. But anybody else is a fucking idiot.
In the balance of probabilities and try to find balance. You have to be a generalist. In general, if I stroke a lion, it's going to bite my hand. In general. There might be a nice one, but I don't want to find out. So that's how
smart.
You praised the Taliban in the past. Would you do so again?
Why?
The world is not black and white. The world is gray.
Which, to be fair, I mean, you got to keep in mind, the White House praised the Taliban back in the day. So just keep that in context.
Difficult to sit and make black and white assumptions about anything. To sit and say that the Taliban are completely and utterly evil and we're completely and utterly good, as you just discussed with the moral high ground. I believe that.
No, I think what he's saying is like partially true. It's like if you see some dude that's in ISIS, right? Some guy that's in ISIS, he's 19 years old. There has never been a moment in his life that his country was not occupied by a foreign power. And guess what? He doesn't fucking like it. He wants to blow everybody up and get them out of his country. Okay? Because I guarantee you, I'm sure many of the soldiers that are over there are probably good people that do the right thing and are not abusive. But I do think ISIS isn't a country. Oh, really? The people that are in ISIS live in the country, don't they? Are we gonna play this little game? Are we gonna play this? We're gonna do this little runaround, huh? Let's stop it. Yeah, actually, shut up. So yeah, of course.
And bring law and order. It may not be the law and order we like, but it's a form of law and order, and humans usually gravitate.
What about
towards
their treatment of women? Only tonight they have banned any women from going to university.
Fantastic. Let's get the feminists to go and
any women from going to university.
Fantastic. Let's get.
Oh my God. There we go. Okay. That's it. I love how he's like, the way he did it, he actually seems like elated. He's like, wow, really?
The feminists to go and teach them a lesson. The feminists are so tough, and they stand up and say they can do anything a man can do. Let's arm them up and send them to Afghanistan. I'm sure it'll fix it.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a serious matter, isn't it? That women don't get the education they deserve.
And that's a very serious answer. If women are just as capable as men in terms of combat, like feminists pretend they are, they can go over there and they can deal with it.
A lot of women do.
I don't think that, like, I mean, if listen, women don't have to register for the draft. Men and women are different physically. If you don't believe that, I mean, okay, you don't have to believe it, but it is true.
Go to combat.
Oh, exactly. So they can go deal with the Taliban. It's nothing to do with me. They can stand up and fight for their own rights.
Surely you wouldn't defend the Taliban banning women from university.
It's saying it's nothing to do with me, Pierre. It's absolutely nothing to do with me.
What about the Afghan women?
I think what he's saying is that, like, I think what Andrew Tate is saying is, like, I think this is generally true, is that people in Western countries spend a lot of time fucking, like being sanctimonious towards people in, like, second world countries, like developing countries, like trying to tell them, like, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, etc. And I think that is, it's like, if you live in that country, like, that's the last thing you want to hear from these people. Yeah, and obviously everybody has the right to their own opinion, but so do them whenever you give them your opinion.
There's nothing to do with.
You sit on the fucking fence. What do you mean you sit on the fence? Baby rage, ATF. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Yeah, what fence am I on? I'm curious, like, what perspective do you think that I have? It's a fence position. Where's it at? Where's that fence position at? Come on, let's hear it. Uh-oh, you better be typing up something good. I swear to God, you got like 3 words, I'm gonna ban you. Come on, let's go, let's see. Let's see, where you at? You about to get your logs pulled. You're starting this shit. Starting this shit on my screen? Go ahead. Go ahead, type it up. I'm gonna get you logged up right now. You're gonna get him right now. Let's see. People mad at this. Like you see, it's a smart, it's a person that's smart. Let's see what it is. What's he gonna say? Come on. Never talk to Pierce. Don't even listen to this full Asthma, please don't. Pierce is a shill. Oh, this is a new viewer. Alright, this is your first day in chat. I hope you're enjoying. Where is it? What's up? Where's your messages? What do you have to say? You're not gonna tell me that you just came in here to talk that shit and leave, are you? There's no way you're about to leave and fucking say this. Oh my God. Like, you really, like... bro, like... Did you pussy out on just typing a message in the chat? I don't need to be smart. You were just proving my point. I'm glad you. That's true. You don't need to be smart. That is true. I gotta agree with you, man. God, what an idiot.
Me on any level.
You don't have a view?
I have a view. My view is that people naturally gravitate towards law and order, and if you didn't have the Taliban, you'd have different warlords operating in lawlessness, and there would be no way to prevent your store or your market stall getting completely robbed by someone with an AK-47, and people are going to gravitate towards a form of law and order. America left. They left the power vacuum, and the power vacuum is now full.
Well, I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
But I do think the banning of women's university in Afghanistan is utterly horrific.
And I think feminists are going to arm themselves. They're going to show us that they can do anything a man can do. They're going to go over there to combat the Taliban.
Well, I mean, like, here's the thing, right? Is like, obviously it's bad that they do that over there. Like, it's stupid, but like, I don't want to spend $1 billion and go send troops over there to die for it. Like, I don't want to send a bunch of people to go over there and get killed for their bullshit. No way. That's not my problem. I don't live there.
Why can't you just say on that, you know what, it's building you wrong?
Because it's not my point. I don't understand.
But it makes me think. It'll make your critics think that you don't think it's wrong.
They could ban all men. They could ban all short
But they're
people.
not. They're only banning women.
Correct. They could ban all short people. They could ban all people with long hair. And none of it's anything to do with me. So they can do whatever they want. I'm not going to go to war with the Taliban.
But you've just literally spent an impassioned...
I think that, like, really, and this is the thing, right? Is that, like, Andrew Tate doesn't have anything to do with, like, Canada, for example. So, like, is he gonna go and give hot takes on what Canada can and can't do? Because in my opinion, I think that it is kind of like there's a double standard here whenever he's going and saying that nobody should be criticizing them, like, who cares, I don't want to have an opinion on it, but then he simultaneously has an opinion on another country that has nothing to do with him. So it's like, I don't like that logic. I think you can easily say that you can have an opinion on something, but you're just not willing to sacrifice a lot to execute that opinion.
First segment, comparing the way, for example, Dubai handles law and order to this country.
Correct.
You do express views about different laws.
Absolutely. Both places.
So when I put to you a law that basically bans women from being educated, it's not. Why is it a problem for you to say, you know what, it's wrong?
So both places I've resided in, Dubai and London, so I have personal experience. I can give my personal opinion, but like I said, it has absolutely nothing to do with me what the Taliban decide to do inside of Afghanistan. And if they decide that's the most prudent way to run their society, then we have two choices. We can either go over there and start another war that we shouldn't be involved in and waste a bunch of life, or we can sit and say, it's up to them, they should govern themselves, they're people, we're no better than them, and they've decided to live their lives a particular way, and that's how they're going to live it. Like I said,
I've never agreed on the moral relativism. I think there are things that are just like, if you want to go into the argument that, like, for example, like, any place that has slavery is bad. Like, just full stop. Like, it's not a question. It's not like a, oh, well, this is, like, you can easily just say that, like, that's bad. And at the same time, you can say, well, I still don't want to spend billions of dollars and get people killed to fix it. Because it's not my right to change it, but it is my right to have an opinion on it. I think it's okay to have an opinion on other things, other places, etc., especially whenever it's like a big idea like this, and like not having an opinion on it whatsoever is like kind of weird. But again, I guess I can kind of respect that. What about indentured servitude, like in Kuwait? Well, I think that there's a spectrum for it. I mean, I'm not gonna, well, what about this? What about that? What about X? What about Y? Fuck, there's a million things that are probably bad in the world. Just because I don't mention every single one, whenever I mention one of them, doesn't mean anything. Slavery is bad, okay? Yeah, you got it. It's bad, yeah. There's plenty of shit that's bad. Reddit, what about is a moment? Yeah, god damn.
Feminists are very upset, they're very disgusted by the fact that in Afghanistan, women cannot go to school. I've been told repeatedly by feminists they're just as capable as men in all realms, and I expect them to arm themselves and fly over to Afghanistan and fix it.
Like a lot of women have done in combat.
Good. Congratulations. Go fight. Well, this is the thing that's very interesting, because when you talk about ideas, it's not even just about Afghanistan and feminism. You talk about ideas, they must all be defended at some point. There has to come down to violence. The world is backed by violence. Nobody wants to talk about this. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have a disagreement between two parties, eventually if the disagreement continues, it ends up in violence. Feminism.
That's true. He is right about this. This is absolutely true. You know why you listen to the government? Because they'll kill you if you don't. That's why. That's the reason. That's simple.
It's defended by men. Men stand up and defend feminism, not feminists themselves, because they're incapable of violence. And we're in a situation now where you're saying that we should send men to go and fight for feminism. Why? It's not a man's problem.
No, I think I'm saying
feminists believe.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, like, men have daughters and wives and sisters and moms and shit, right? I don't like this idea like you should only care about what is like exclusive to you. I think that's a bit much.
Men can be feminists too, because if feminism believes in equality, I'll sign up to it. I don't agree with radical feminists who hate men, but
Nobody
to me,
does.
Radical anything to me is a bad thing.
Yeah, and I think most feminism in the West currently is radical.
Well, some of it is, no question.
Absolutely, but this is my point. My point is that the Taliban are going to do whatever the Taliban decide.
That was a good statement by Andrew Tate. That was smart. He's getting a lot better at these interviews. Yeah, he's getting a lot better. That was very clever for him to say that. And yeah, overall what I'm saying is like I don't understand like why it's so hard for people to say that yeah, these things are bad in the world and it's not my place to go fucking to stop them. I think people like maybe it's because like they're afraid of, they don't want to feel like they are allowing something bad to happen, but they are, and everybody is. I think people just like to be coddled, you know. They don't like to ever accept the fact that they're providing a platform or like allowing shit like this to happen. Fear of social consequences, yeah. Empathy and the shared human condition, yeah. But like where's that empathy whenever it's like somebody who is like living under a bridge in your hometown? Like how is it like more empathetic to care about women in Afghanistan than like a guy that's homeless in your country? Like, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be any empathy, but I think that there should be like some fucking some different levels to it. Yeah, go to LA and be empathetic.
If I'm going to fly over to another country, I will respect their laws and customs. It's not
Everybody should. You go to another country, you break the law, it is what it is. Some of their laws are fucking stupid, but it is what it is.
Job to come along.
I mean,
and
if
tell
you're
other people how to
choosing to
live, I
go
don't
to a
believe I have
different
moral high
country
ground in
and
that
you
degree.
break the law,
You do that all the time, man.
I mean, that's
Come
your
on,
decision.
Be real. Like, that's what all your content is, how to live.
And if people are genuinely upset and disgusted by it, the bottom line in most disagreements on the earth is violence. People who feel like they should go and fix it, then fix it with violence, then it can be the feminists who feel so outraged by it. But it's funny, they don't comment on these subjects, feminists. They seem to instead attack the Western male for some reason.
You deleted a video in which you praised ISIS. Why?
That's probably a good idea. Probably to delete that, Brittany Griner. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, the thing is with her, I think people, like, if I remember what that situation was, is like she was like a WNBA player and she got detained by Russia for having some fucking weed pen, and then we traded her out for the guy that they made Lord of War based off of. You know, some guy with a mustache. I mean, to be fair, he had a really good mustache, but he's like a murderer and a terrible person. The Merchant of Death, yeah, that guy. Yeah, and so I don't think people were mad that Brittany Griner got brought back. Like, we would all be happy about that. It's the fact that we had to trade him for an international arms dealer that a blockbuster movie was made off of because of how prolific and damaging he was to the world. Like, that's really kind of like that. I mean, that's like trading a Squirtle for a Charizard. Like, yeah, you made the trade, you got the Squirtle, but what did it cost?
I don't know which video you're talking about in particular. It might have been a video from a long time ago. But in general, I understand that, like I said, the world is not black and white. The world is gray areas, and Western imperialism as a whole has been causing more problems than it's ever fixed, and it's disgusting. And I don't know the exact video you're referencing, but sometimes when an underdog destroys a Western imperialist, I have a degree of, I wouldn't say satisfaction, but every
satisfaction.
No, but there's certainly a degree of
the way ISIS.
I like how Andrew Tate's like, not satisfaction, and then Piers Morgan is like, satisfaction? How dare you? Oh my god! Whatever he just said, not satisfaction.
I don't know the particular.
Conducted themselves.
I don't know about the particular video we're talking
about. ISIS were one of the most deadly terror groups in the world.
Absolutely.
They committed a series of appalling atrocities.
Sure.
Killing innocent people left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
How could you possibly have satisfaction?
Well, if it's the video I'm recollecting, if it's the video we're talking about, it's about the fact that I believed ISIS was funded by the West and created by the West in the first place. And it wasn't a degree of satisfaction like I'm happy ISIS.
I think that you could say ISIS, any of this shit could be created by the West. Like, even if you don't think that, like, they have effectively armed them. Like, obviously, like, bro, like, occupying a country for 20 years, like, militarily, like, yeah, of course that's going to create some sort of, like, fucking, like counter group. Like, no shit. Like, of course that, like, bro, like, that's what happened here. We had the Revolutionary War. Like, no fucking shit that's what's gonna happen. Like, as I said, it's like guys that are in ISIS, bro, like, they grew up, they probably never remember a time that the U.S. wasn't in control of shit there. And if they do remember a time, the worst part of it was whenever they grew up. So, yeah, it makes perfect fucking sense why these people would be pissed off. What take, bro? I know people might get mad about that or might get upset, but it's true. If you go and meddle and fuck with other people all the time, and then they go around and they turn around and they say, fuck you, you like, they can still be wrong. ISIS sucks. But you can't be surprised. It's the truth. This was
a commentary on the world.
Well, here's what you said. ISIS are the real Muslims, because ISIS do exactly what the book says. Kill everyone who's not a Muslim and chop people's heads off and set them on fire and be raging lunatics. But all the other Muslims go, they're not real Muslims because I read the book, and ignore those parts. Well, then you're not...
Bro, this is the fuck... Every religion has this. Oh my God. They're not the real Christians. They're not real Muslims. They're not real Jews. Oh my fucking God. Holy shit, it's the same book. All the books came from pretty much the same place. A lot of the things in the books pretty much line up. How do people keep killing each other over this shit? It is amazing to me. How does this happen? Like, I don't understand. Like, they've been doing this forever.
Effing Muslim, because you're ignoring the effing book.
That's an interesting point you've just raised, because I am now Islamic, and it's funny because I used to be an atheist, and when you're an atheist, you believe that religion causes more problems than it fixes, and then you come to a realization and you start to learn the truth of yourself and the truth of God, and you realize that religion is actually the cure for most of the problems in the world, and godlessness is the problem in the world. So that is something I will apologize for.
I would okay, all right, so he's gonna apologize for that. I think for a lot of people, God, religion, Islam, Christianity is an ordering force in their life. I do genuinely believe that. Now, I also think that it can be bad. I'm not particularly religious, so I'm not saying that I do this, okay? Like, the extent of my religion, like, I had communion, you know? I grew up raised Roman Catholic, had communion, went to catechism, or not catechism. It's like the fucking school where you learn about religious shit. And I had to do that for a long time. None of the girls there were hot. It was awful. And I had to do that on top of school. So, yes, of course. And there are a lot of people that I know that are religious, and I don't know about you guys. This is coming from somebody who is extremely critical of religion all the time. But the fact is that a lot of my friends that are religious are, in general, probably living more fulfilling lives than the ones that aren't. And I say this as somebody who is non-religious. This is my personal experience and personal anecdote that means nothing more than that. Yeah, ignorance is bliss. At what way ignorance is bliss?
All right, I'm gonna hop off. Hey Cam, I hit silver, so we can play later if you'd like. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 8, and 6. And 6. 18 KDA with Braum. Imagine. Let's see what your win rate is, Korea. 3-7, 30%. Two and 5 with Maduka, by the way. 0-3 with French Duke. Oh, okay, yeah. This looks like a good Rakan game, even though he died 10 times. That's not good, but... And Timo somehow got third OP score with a KDA that's 1, 8, and 12. That's pretty crazy. One was AFK so bad he put down 100 mines and stopped them from getting out of base. What? Oh no, look at your surrender rating. 40% this season so far. That's not the Korea I know. You have a 0% win rate when going minus 2 kills at 10 minutes. I'm too confident. %, red side win. 80% win after a defeat. 40% after a victory. %57 win rate. We just need to keep that. We need to keep that. Damn, people already have 56 games played. That's pretty nutty. If you look at these games, even in like the worst defeated game, I was only 9 and 11. That's not bad. And who am I losing to? Volley Bear on Leona Jungle game. That should have been a win. The Graves game should have been a win. Chaco was a loss, so I mean, nothing I can do there. But